Now at 5, heat and storms continue to have an impact. I'll have your forecast.
Another 3-year-old is shot here in our city. Ahead, the adults in custody that are accused of neglect, and investigators are sharing how they believe the little boy got the gun.
And the mental health of Hoosier teens, the issues keeping them up at night, and how they want state lawmakers to help them. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Tonight, right now at 5 o'clock, we are tracking the impact of storms and heat all across central Indiana.
And while we're not seeing the heat that we experienced yesterday across the area, will temps still feel like they are in the 90s? And our team of meteorologists have been working around the clock to make sure that you know the impact that this weather will have. It's still here.
That's right. Angela Buckman is back, and she's been tracking all of this heat extreme from the Weather Center tonight.
Yeah, what kind of impact will this have on plans? There's actually a lot going on in the city this evening.
There is. The Indians at Home, that's an outdoor event. It'll be nice and cool inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse for the Fever this evening. But if you do have those outdoor plans, yes, the weather will continue to have an impact. The higher heat, higher humidity, you can really feel it out there, and the threat of some pop-up storms that may reach strong to severe limits. No watches, no warnings locally, but we continue to watch live Doppler 13 radar. We are south along Interstate 65 with a strong storm just to the south of Columbus. So this is impacting Bartholomew County, and we've got a few just to the south of Bedford. So southern Lawrence County, right around Mitchell. Heavy rain and lightning are the threats so far. Right now, downtown Indianapolis is dry. We're about a half hour or so away from a double header this evening out at Victory Field. Take some extra water. Make sure you hydrate this evening. Even though we're not as hot as yesterday, it's still very warm and it's still very muggy with those feels-like temperatures, middle and upper 90s. We'll be in the upper 80s and low 90s for actual air temperatures tomorrow afternoon. So another hazy, humid day with that muggy meter in the miserable range the next couple of days. So we want to make sure you continue to keep in mind you're going to need to find some shade, hydrate, and go inside during storms the next couple of days.
All right, thanks so much, Angela. And don't forget, you can always track the heat and the storms if you have the Live Doppler 13 weather app. It's a free download. You can get it in your phone's app store. And
you can use the interactive radar to track any storms that we see tonight. And you can check our weather team's blog for their updated forecast. Well, tonight, court records provide new information about how a 3-year-old shot himself and why his mother and a man are under arrest.
Our Rich Nye shows us where that shooting went down and what he has since learned about that little boy's condition.
The mother says she was waiting in this Department of Public Works parking lot to pick up a man after work about 5 p.m. Tuesday. She had groceries and 4 kids in a blue Chevy Malibu. When the man came to the car, he told police he got his gun out of the trunk. He says he always carries the gun or it's in the trunk. He says he let the kids, ages 3, 5, 7, and 9, out of the back seat to play outside because the woman was busy on the phone. He says he laid his gun on the floor of the passenger seat and pointed to the gun, indicating to the woman to watch the gun, and she allegedly acknowledged him. The man says he was running around the parking lot while the kids tried to smear sticky fruit snacks on him.
The woman says she was sitting in the driver's seat talking on the phone. The man and the kids were outside the car playing. She says she saw the gun sitting on the passenger seat. She says she got out of the car to start rounding up the kids when she heard a pop.
The man says he did not see the boy go back to the car. The couple says the woman grabbed the boy and put him in her lap, and the man looked for help, then decided to drive to a hospital. The woman called 911, and they pulled into a Wendy's parking lot not far away to meet medics. Police say the boy was shot in the abdomen. 13 News spoke to a relative at the mother's address who would only confirm that the boy came through surgery at Riley Hospital. Court records say he suffered injuries to his stomach, intestines, and colon. The 26-year-old mother and the 26-year-old man are both in jail for neglect of a dependent, resulting in catastrophic injury. The 3 uninjured children were released to their biological father. In Indianapolis, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Police say that they recovered a .45 caliber handgun from the trunk of the car there.
Well, tonight, many are asking what can be done to prevent this. In the last week, we did not see or hear from the Indianapolis mayor about any of these incidents.
But today, our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick caught up with the mayor, and he shares what he says is part of the solution.
Mayor Hogsett made one of his first public appearances in weeks for the opening of this new apartment building. He's been relatively quiet, but today answering questions about one of the most pressing issues happening in our city, kids being hurt or killed by guns.
But it underscores the responsibility that the city has, that the mayor has, in making sure that our criminal intervention efforts are given the highest priority.
6 kids have either been injured or killed by guns over the course of just 9 days in Indy. Police say half of those cases were accidental. The others were kids caught in the crossfire. Mayor Joe Hogsett believes many of these shootings can be prevented.
Any public library has an unlimited amount of gun locks. Take advantage of them. Parents, if you're going to be a gun owner, make sure you're a responsible gun owner.
At 6, also hear what the Marion County prosecutor is doing to prevent these shootings and the charges parents could face. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
The city of Indianapolis now has a new website for city workers to anonymously report allegations of harassment. It follows allegations made by 3 women who used to work for the city. They made those allegations against Thomas Cook, a former member of the Hogsett administration. Now, the mayor also addressed the situation for the first time in weeks during his news conference earlier today, when he was asked directly why he let Cook come back to work for him.
Well, you're right. He had not worked for me for 3 or 4 years, and he offered to help. The campaign got started in earnest in, I believe, November or December of 2022. I was made aware of additional allegations about Mr. Cook in September of 2023, and based on the investigation that was conducted, he was given the opportunity to no longer work on the campaign, and the contracts that he had obtained in his private sector employment practice were canceled.
A city spokesperson tells us the city's HR department will run this website until they select a third-party vendor to do so.
And tonight we're learning of another death in the Marion County Adult Detention Center.
41-year-old Carlos Lagun-Franceschi died this morning. The sheriff's office issued a statement saying that he asked to be moved to the infirmary last night. He reportedly had stomach pain.
Medical staff say he was okay when they checked in on him at 9 o'clock this morning, but he was not responsive when they checked on him again at 10:15.
He was in custody on several drug charges.
Hoosier teens are in crisis and they need help. That was the message from a group of high school students who came to the Indiana State House today.
And these are students that came from all across the state of Indiana, forming a youth mental health roundtable.
Our Emily Longnecker was there too, and she shares what the teens say is causing mental health issues for themselves and their peers. Emily?
These kids talked about what it's like to be teenagers today, to balance schoolwork, extracurricular activities, and jobs. Add into the mix social media, which they say contributes to bullying, peer pressure, and phones that go off all night with notifications. They say all of it leads to teens who are anxious, stressed, and depressed.
Children are dying. The future of Indiana is dying.
And students like high school seniors Kirsten Nees and Cole Ramsey and their peers on this panel say they have a front row seat to the tragedy.
Every year I've been there, we have unfortunately lost a student to suicide or drug overdose.
That's why these students say they took part in Wednesday's panel on the mental health of Hoosier teens.
I could not sit by idly and watch as my peers and my classmates died.
Now they want Indiana lawmakers to listen when they tell them they need more counselors at their schools, so kids who reach out for help don't have to wait to get it.
But these counselors, as we've talked about before, have so much to do that they often cannot meet with students regularly.
The ratio of high school students to counselor recommended by the American School Counselors Association is 250 to 1. A 2023 study showed that in Indiana, the ratio is double that recommendation. These teens say that's a problem for students who desperately need someone to hear their cries for help.
We are a state that is in crisis, and if we do not start listening to our students, more students will die.
Next year's legislative session is still several months away. It will be a budget session where lawmakers decide how the state spends its money over the next 2 years. These teens say that some of that money, more money, needs to be spent on hiring school counselors. They say they can have all the panel discussions they want in the world, but what really counts is what the adults in the room do after those discussions with the information they have. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Thank you, Emily. And Democratic Senator J.D. Ford, who hosted today's discussion, says all options are on the table when it comes to proposing legislation on how to hire more counselors in schools.
Indigo now making major route changes, and they're coming this fall. It's all related to the opening of the Purple Line that's set to happen in October. Indigo says there are going to be minor adjustments to the routes on the south side, but significant changes to the north side route. So if this could impact you, we want to let you know that you can see the routes that they're adding, the ones they're retiring, the ones they're realigning. They're making some tweaks. It's all on our website. You can get there quickly if you scan the QR code there you have on your screen. It'll take you directly to WTHR.com/SeenOn13, and that's where you can find more details about those bus route changes.
Happening tonight, Indy Parks is hosting a community open house at the Riverside Park Family Center.
They want to know what you think about the design concepts for a nature center at that park there. So we were at the groundbreaking for the Riverside Adventure Park last November. The first phase of that should be wrapped up at the end of this year, opening to the public in early 2025.
And tonight's community open house begins in about an hour. That's happening at 6 o'clock. And we're on top of breaking news out of Fort Wayne tonight.
A massive fire underway right now, and firefighters are trying to put it out. You can see they're attacking it there with water. There's a huge plume of black smoke up there in Allen County. We are told this is on the east side of downtown Fort Wayne.
And we're in touch with our NBC affiliate up there. They say smoke is visible from the fire. Smoke from the fire is visible actually across the city. We're going to keep you updated. We're going to work to get some more information as they cover this. And you have still got an hour left to help us knock out the need for blood donations in Central Indiana.
So we have teamed up with the Red Cross for this annual drive. It does run today and tomorrow. So if you didn't make it today, call and make an appointment for tomorrow. We did stop by the Red Cross headquarters this afternoon and saw several of you were there making an appointment to donate blood. So if you didn't make it out today, why don't you join us and make an appointment for tomorrow at one of these locations?
Yeah, here are the locations right here on your screen. You can donate there, and you can also find them. We put them at WTHR.com/knockouttheneed.
Pushing back.
The petition to speed up the construction of a bridge on the west side of Indianapolis. That's new at 5:30.
It's hot, it's humid, but as we look ahead, relief from the heat in the 7-day, but still a few days away. I'll have your forecast.
The roster has been trimmed. It's almost go time for your Indianapolis Colts. I'm Dave Calabro. What should you fans expect from this team? That story's coming up next.